If you couldn't tell, I'm a game developer, but obviously that's not the only thing that I do in my free time. One example being that I also like to produce music for my games, but we could just ignore that part. But because of my lack of experience making music that's not for a game, I figured I'd actually try and do that. So I opened up Fruity Loops and started by realizing I had no clue what I was doing and that I needed to listen to some music to get some inspiration. So I grabbed some headphones and put in some music. You know what? This is boring. Icoso.
What? Nate Dev, it's 3 AM here. This better be important.
Do you want to, like, collab?
You mean you woke me up this early just to ask me that? I have to get up in another couple hours just to ride my kangaroo to school.
We started by getting into a call and doing a bit of planning. We really didn't know what we were going to do, and we soon found out that collaboration with FL Studio is a little tricky. There's not actually anything built in, so we had to resort to just editing the same file. The issue with that is whenever one of us changed the file, it would overwrite all of the other person's changes, which meant that we couldn't work on it at the same time. Now, being the geniuses that we are, we found a solution. We decided to start, we would just put the file in a GitHub repo that we both had access to. Then we would just keep passing the project back and forth and keep adding things to the song until it was done. As for the song's genre, we decided to figure that out as we went along. Finally, we had to split up the work. We followed this common song structure and really just split up the parts between us. And after writing that all down on a Trello board, we decided to get to work. I ended up working on the song first, and my task was to make a drum beat. Originally, I made this, but I realized it was bad and overcomplicated. So to make a better drum beat, I used the drum method. Don't overcomplicate your drum beat. So I ended up making this, which is way simpler and in my opinion, way better. And is also a very common drum beat in lots of lo-fi music, but we don't talk about that. But anyway, when I was finished with that, it was Icoso's turn to work on the chords and bass.
For the chords, I decided to go something quite boppy, upbeat, and uplifting. I used some funky chord progressions using 7th and 9th to make it sound a bit more interesting, in accordance with a lively rhythm. I made 2 different sets of these chords which are very alike, the patterns are a bit different, but overall it gave the piece a bit more of a foundation. I didn't do anything too complex for the bass guitar, I just followed the root notes and moving some of these up and down using the pentatonic scale.
So the chords that Icoso made sounded good, but I knew some kind of counter melody would make them sound even better. And if you haven't picked up on it, that means I got started working on them. But you're probably wondering, Nate, don't you need a melody before you have a counter melody? And to that I say, yeah, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, I found these violins that I liked and decided to use them. For the actual, music part, I just played notes that were on the chords and it sounds pretty good. But Icoso made 2 sets of chords, so I decided to make a second variation of the counter melody just to make things a little more interesting. And when that was finished, it was Icoso's turn, so I'll pass it over to him.
When making the verses and breakdown, I was leaning towards quite an energetic, spirited sort of thing that played quite quickly. To achieve this, I placed these notes in a major pentatonic scale, which is using the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th notes of a scale. Using these in any context really is a really great help. So if you're stuck writing melodies, I suggest you do some research into the pentatonic scale. It's really helpful and it works in so many situations.
I really liked what Icoso did with the verses, but I wasn't really feeling the instrument that he picked, so I changed it. But anyway, I then created a couple of melodies to go with the song. The melody should be the best part of any song, so I tried to make it catchy and sound good. To actually make the melody, I just played notes that were on the chords, and it turned out pretty well. And with that, the song was actually finished, so it was time for Icoso to do some mixing and effects.
Even though mixing and mastering your instruments and sounds of your song is really important, I didn't do a whole lot of work on that for this project because it didn't really need it. The things you need to look out for is that there isn't any one instrument or part of your project that overpowers the rest. You want to add a nice, easy balance. And spending even 10 minutes on this, adjusting these volumes, really goes a long way. Like I said, I didn't do too much of this song. I did do a bit of a lead-in though, making the piano more vibrant, I guess, throughout the intro.
And that's it. If you want to hear the song, just wait till the end of the video or go to one of these places. Thank you all for this, join my Discord server, go follow my Twitter, and thanks to all my server boosters. And yeah, hit like if you like, also hit like if you dislike, and please subscribe. And have a great day.